How's it going, man?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Very, very well. Your story is very, very amazing. First of all, I like the name of your business, Vocal Media. And I like the way it was spelt. When I saw the way
Right.
it was spelt, I was like, this dude is creative.
Thank you.
It's
I had
V,
an idea when I was
yeah.
still young. I wanted to do something. We wanted to create an app
Yeah.
for for an audio social media platform.
Okay.
That's fine. Before Clubhouse. I spoke to my friend, he's a designer, and I was just explaining the idea, and I was like, this is massive. This is going to be huge.
Yeah.
We couldn't do it. Like there was just even if we tried. There
Hmm.
was just no way forward. But we saw Clubhouse one day and it was like, wow, do you remember? That was kind of part of the inspiration. But I mean, Vocal Media was supposed to be a proper like media company. And yeah, we've been doing a lot of interesting things these days.
Hmm. So technology and media has always been a part of you.
I from like 17 maybe. I've always been fascinated by this stuff.
All right.
But
So
I think when you're young, you don't really have as much resources to do stuff. You can
yeah.
only dream and hope.
Hmm.
But I think what I wish I would have done differently was to actually even start, even if my beginning was rubbish. I was making videos. I made videos for my church, but it was rubbish, and I never put it out. I mean, the church people loved it, but to me, it was rubbish. I think I kind of had this very high expectation of myself,
Hmm.
but I was like, nah. But I mean, I liked it. I put my effort into it,
Yeah.
but I knew that it was missing something.
Wow.
So it was also what discouraged me from starting early on. But looking back, I wish. I mean, I'm happy with the way everything has turned out so far, but I wish I started earlier.
Wow. So I think you have some sort of same backstory with Sean Connor of Think Media. He also started by doing videos for his church as well.
Yeah.
All right. So just for those that don't know you, I just want to read a little bit about your background because it's very, 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 very powerful. Fisayos is a visual media storyteller, finance and technology, and video producer with over 750,000 subscribers. Now, sometimes you don't understand it. Just imagine 750,000 people in a field. That's a stadium, bigger than
I
a
think,
stadium.
well, is right now it's like 470,000 subscribers, but across all social media is like
It's
over
750.
700.
Yes, yeah, yeah. It's
And
massive.
I think that many of them follow on different platforms.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. So it's massive. And he's an ambassador of Music Bed, one of the largest music licensing companies for video creators and producers. He's been featured. He's one of the 26 Africans featured in the 2022 YouTube Black Voices class. He won African Influencer of the Year in 2022, and so many, so many, so many accomplishments. His narrative is very, very, very powerful, and you will hear a lot of it as we go into the interview. Researching you has been such a joy to me. I watch the videos that they interviewed you. I watch the videos that you interviewed other people. So I
oh,
watch your Finance Friday.
thank you.
So let me get on to my first question for you today. It's a very interesting question because of the way your channel grew. It took you 4 years to hit your first 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Now, something magically happened. And you did that in 2021. You hit that in 2021. And in 2 years, you grew by over 400%. And it's taking you less years to get to that level now. Because it collaborates with what Charlie Munger said that do not compound, do not disrupt anything that is compounding unnecessarily.
Unnecessarily, yeah. I
And,
remember.
and, and you left it. So I was telling my children, I said, imagine if this guy had stopped in the first year. He wouldn't have seen the level of growth that is seen and the success is seen today. So I like for you to speak to that because a lot of people who are YouTubers are going to watch this video or they do other forms of business because this principle of compounding, it affects and infects every aspect of our lives. How do you stay on the dream even if you've not seen the manifestation yet?
I think I like the part of the question that you said, what if I had stopped?
Yeah.
Because I actually contemplated stopping. I was,
Wow.
the funny thing is yesterday, I'm just coming back from my home, from my family home. family house in the village,
Mm.
not the village, but yeah, just going back from my family house, and I was speaking with Tayo, I know,
Yes.
also another creator,
Yeah.
and we were just talking about this particular topic because I would have given up on YouTube for like I had 100,000 subscribers, and I didn't really have so much to show for it. Like
Mm.
I was making stuff. I wasn't saving. I was making content. I was just putting it out there. And I wasn't like there wasn't anything to show for it. There wasn't any proper results. There wasn't anything that I had concrete other than subscribers.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So in my head, it just felt like I think what happened was I said I was going to just try something else, something new. I was making tech videos consistently.
Mhm.
And I said I wanted to try something new. And if it doesn't work, I think maybe I might just stop at this point,
Yeah.
or I will slowly quit. But what happened was the beginning of that year, you know how COVID-19 happened and
Yeah.
2020 was a very tough year.
Yeah.
That was the year that I had like a wake-up call. I started reading more finance books. I started reading more personal development books. I started just like trying to be more introspective and
Mm.
try to do a lot more personal development
Mm.
essentially.
Mhm.
And I said I was going to save 70% of all what I was making throughout that year.
That's brutal, man.
Yes, and I would not advise, I would not recommend because it's
That's
it's it's
brutal.
it wasn't the best strategy,
Mm.
but it needed to happen because I was kind of careless. I
Mm.
was not I did not really have like a proper documentation of where money was going and coming.
Mhm.
So it wasn't the best. So that year was a tough year,
Mm.
but it was a blessing as well because I was saving everything. I had something substantial. I could say, okay, this is something I can rely on, even if push comes to shove, or if I don't get any work for a
Mm.
couple of months, I will be perfectly fine.
Mm.
So what happened was at the end of December that year, I went to the next month I went to Dubai
Yeah.
and I went to buy my camera. I made my first episode of Finance Friday.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was when like the idea just hit because a lot of people resonated with it
Yeah.
organically and fast.
Yeah.
Normally for the tech videos are like if you are not there, it's like you have to be there
Mhm.
when the tech launches.
Mhm.
You have to get your hands on it first
Mhm.
because it's tech
Mhm.
and tech is binary, it's one and zero.
Yes.
You are either right or wrong.
Yeah.
For finance or for like just general personal development videos, people can get your own unique perspective. Of course,
Mhm.
people can get my unique perspective for tech,
Mhm.
but I needed to have something else on the channel. I needed to have something that, people could fall in love with.
Mhm.
And that was when the Finance Friday series came to play. And what I realized was when I made like 25 or 24 finance videos that year, we reached a lot more people. We
Mhm.
grew a lot. And I think we did a poll, and 50% of the channel had preference for finance videos. What we
Oh.
also saw was what we made in that year was more than what we made in 4 years combined.
Mm.
And
Mm.
it was just like I was at this point where I was about to quit, and I just said, let me try this new thing. Let me try to
Mm.
switch it up a little bit. If I hadn't done that, I don't think I would be, I think I'll probably have had a slow quitting moment, or I would just not be interested. But I think it helps to take a step back and have that introspection. And it all ties back to, everybody has to have a why.
Mhm.
So the starting with your why or understanding why you're doing something
Yeah.
and keeping that at the back of your mind because that will really, really help you, when times like those times coming where you feel like you're down and you feel like you're about to give up, the why
Mm.
will always
Mm.
help you. And having, not being afraid to pivot
Yeah.
or trying something new would
Yeah.
definitely help.
Yeah. That was very powerful of you. I mean, that resonated with a lot of people. You saved like $15,000, so it touched a lot of people's hearts. And and I like this part that technology reviewing tech. You didn't tie your identity to that I'm a tech reviewer, Because if you had locked your identity to it, when the Finance Friday idea hits your spirit, you would not have responded. You would have said
I
no.
think it will be very difficult.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So you had the courage to pivot, as it were. And funny enough, your tech is actually connected to the finance because a lot of technology companies. so it's a,
Now there's a huge rise in fintech,
yeah.
and
So
like
it's
I've been
beautiful
privileged to
for you.
speak with some people. A lot of people have reached out to me, and it's just very fascinating the amount of people and the quality of their work, the amount of people that you can speak to
So
is
beautiful.
it felt very uh I don't know, it just felt very necessary, and it's kind of worked out.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. All right. So my next question is, I will start it with a quote by Shakespeare and Julius Caesar. He said that there is a tide in the affairs of men, which taken at the flood leads to fortune. Would you agree with me that timing was in your favor? Because when you started doing tech videos, there was literally nobody doing it. Because right now you have actually inspired a generation of tech reviewers. I see them all over TikTok, all over Instagram. It started with you. Mandela said that if you live your dreams, you automatically give other people the permission to live their own dreams. It was your dreams that liberated a lot of them to start pursuing that dream today. I want you to speak to timing and taking advantage of time when it hits you.
So I think you are right in that uh if you how would I put it? There's always that luck factor
Yeah.
when it comes to when someone starts something. There was this survey, I'm not exactly sure, but a lot of maybe whether they were a lot of billionaires or so they were around the same age as Bill Gates in 1980.
Yeah.
I think 1980 something. I don't remember exactly how that was calculated, but I think they're 80 something years older. So
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a survey around that area. But what I'm just trying to say is during the time I started,
Mm-hmm.
there were not so many people. There were some people that were already doing this stuff.
Mm.
But in my head, I felt like I wanted to invest as much as I possibly could
Yeah.
into making tech videos.
Mm-hmm.
And I was a graphic designer back then. Being a freelancer and also someone that was working on the internet, I was fortunate enough as well to be earning in dollars at the time.
Yeah.
And I was saving all that money. I think it amounted to a little over $5,000.
Yes.
I took
For
all that
everything.
money. That was like my life savings.
Poured it on gear.
Everything, used it to buy gear. And I was like, this is it. Like, if it's going to work out, it's going to work out. If
Mm.
not, I don't care. But I've always wanted to do this. Why not? And I think when I started, I tried to make the videos very high quality, very
Yeah.
well edited,
Yeah.
and just very interesting for people to watch. So I think that was what helped in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really seeing that being
Yeah.
done. So I wanted to be the one to do that. And I wanted to be the one to answer those questions. And there were a lot of naysayers at the time. They were like, oh, this thing is not going to work out. Nobody's going to watch a Nigerian tech reviewer.
Mm.
Nobody's going to watch a Nigerian tech video when they already have an American tech
Yeah.
person. Why do they need to watch you? But I'm grateful that I didn't listen to those people
Mm-hmm.
and I just started. And I think we we were able to, connect with brands quicker
Yeah.
because they saw the quality, they saw
Yeah.
the value in what we're delivering,
Yeah.
and they just, they were easily forthcoming. Like one of the first brands that reached out was
Was Techno.
Techno. The guy
Yes.
was like, he didn't know that I was, in Nigeria. He thought
No,
maybe
no,
I
no.
was
Wait, wait.
from
Fisayo, well, I want to emphasize something. This is your Techno story. When you review their Common CX,
yeah.
they didn't reach out to you. You reach out to a head
So
of partnerships. And I like that fact that that's a businessman's thinking.
so
Talk
he when
to
he saw it, he didn't know that I was
in Nigeria.
in Nigeria. And I think that was if it kind of felt bad too because it's like, is it that we don't expect quality stuff to come out of here?
Yeah.
But I was, at the same time, I was like, I want to just pioneer this thing. I want to bring the quality to this game, and I want to
Yes.
make videos that will be very fascinating to watch, well edited, very well done videos that are sharp and brilliant as well in the content. So I think that was just that moment I was in. And I was still freelancing as well. I was still doing my graphic design works on the side. So I was still trying to earn some money. On average, we used to earn around like maybe $1,000 a month in like 2017,
Hmm.
that time. So I was able to save some. I'll use it to get maybe get a course or just get something that I'll use to improve my knowledge because I do not know everything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just knew that the best way to know something is to learn about the thing and, get organized courses, stuff that I could just use, learn for that week, try to implement something, experiment. And I did a couple of videos that were, back in looking at it now, they don't look like much, but they took me a while.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of grateful. I'm really grateful that I, took that step and took that risk to starting.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Fantastic. You are a big reader. I mean, I heard you saying once that
Yeah,
you
I
read
love reading books.
like a book a month. And one of your favorite authors is Thomas J. Stanley, the guy that wrote The Millionaire Next Door.
Yeah, I've read it. That book is like a three-part series.
Yeah.
The Millionaire Next Door, Stop Acting Rich, and one other one. I don't remember the third one. The Millionaire Wives or something like that.
Hmm.
Or something. I don't remember. There is a three-part book. I have all the three. I've read three, or is it four?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but I've read all of them.
That's
And
fantastic.
I've read The Millionaire Next Door, especially like more than 5 times now.
Wow.
And that book is just, yeah, it's just in my
Wow.
head, it's like,
Wow. It's like your
this is how
Bible, your
to
finance Bible.
live and act if you know that.
Wow.
I
Wow.
like the book a lot. It's just be frugal, be prudent. Don't spend like a thief. And just, save your money.
Mm-hmm. 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 I like the fact that you said
So,
you read the book 5 times because every time you read it,
well,
you see
that
something
that's
new. You
that's
see
even
something
small.
new.
I think Mastery is the one. The Mastery by Robert Greene
By
is the one
Robert
I've
Greene, yeah.
read over 10 times now. I've read the book over and over again. I have the reason why I'm able to even read a lot is because I use the Audible app and I have a
Okay,
PDF of the book. So I'm listening to it and I'm reading it. So it's much faster. I'm having
fantastic,
like an audiovisual type of experience. Or most times when I'm driving, I'm just listening to the book. So I
fantastic.
have like every time if I'm idle, if I'm not doing anything, I'm just listening to those books and just getting a sense of what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I go back to PDF, maybe
Mm-hmm.
Google something,
Mm-hmm.
understand some concepts, some stories as well. So Mastery is one book that I'm so fascinated by.
Mm.
That book helped me in the very beginning of starting the YouTube channel. It was
Mm.
the first thing that I took from that book
what was
is
your big takeaway from that book, Mastery?
so
Because it's
so
pretty
the
big, yeah.
first takeaway from starting the channel was when you're coming into a new industry, come with a blank slate. Like let your mind be like a blank board, the tabula rasa thing that you are ready
Yes,
to be
yes,
imprinted
yes.
upon. You don't
Teachable.
want to come in with
Mm.
assumptions that you
Yes,
feel like you know all these
yes,
things.
yes,
It's the same way a child learns a language. The child is
yes,
open to learning. They
yes,
don't know anything. They don't know
yes,
everything, and they know that they don't know. So
yes.
they will easily absorb. But as an adult, we feel like we know some things, and we feel
Mm.
like you can't just tell us anyhow. You can't just treat us anyhow. But it pays to have an open mind and be willing to absorb
Mm-hmm.
without judging, without any bias. Just
Mm-hmm.
absorb and understand
Mm-hmm.
and learn. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the mindset I came in with. It was like, this is the industry, this is what I can do, and this is what the industry wants, in my
Yeah.
opinion, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And I came in with a blank slate. The other thing was letting the work speak for you, and um don't try to force, yourself upon the industry or force
Mm,
yourself
mm,
upon any.
mm,
Let the work do the talking, and muting your colors, keeping your colorful thoughts to your friends. Don't start doing controversial rubbish on the internet.
mm, mm,
Just
mm,
letting the work do the talking.
mm,
And I think those were the things that I had imprinted in my mindset. So all I was focused on was making the best possible videos without any distractions, without anything that would, take away from the quality of the work. It
mm,
was all, it has always been about the quality of the videos that I make and the audience. Like, how best am I attending to their values,
mm-hmm,
to what they want, to what the questions that they have. So, in every video that we have, it's always heavily feedback driven, based on
mm,
people's comments, based on what they want.
I like that.
So every time I make a post, it's always I want to get as much data
Feedback.
from people that are watching, feedback as
Mm,
well. So once I'm able to improve upon those in writing, in my scripts, or in our research, we put it into a video that is tailored for them and their questions. So I'm answering their questions. I'm making a good video. If we're working with a brand, for instance, the brand has an informed, well-researched video presented by, me and my team
mm-hmm.
on the YouTube channel. Everybody is happy, and value has been created that way.
Yeah, yeah. So powerful. Very, very, very powerful. Very, 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 very powerful. There's one of your videos that I really like is how to make $100 a
Oh,
day.
yeah.
And because I did a poll once to members of my paid WhatsApp group, and I asked them how many of you have made $1 a day, not naira. Somebody paid $1 into your dollar account. If you say, I'll tell you that a lot of people have never done that in their lives.
Mm.
So I would want for you to speak to that because I listened to that video and there are simple things that people can do with their phone. So can you speak to that? Just like rapid fire. 532
So
things that somebody can do to make $1. In fact, just make it like make your first $1 or $10 online.
so the thing is, where we have a video that we have finished now,
Mm-hmm.
that is about how you can make money as a freelancer and the ways you can actually get clients. So that video is coming out either this Finance Friday or the next one.
Good.
We've been working on that video for over 2 weeks now. So I feel like that video will be a more refined thought. But for this conversation,
Mm-hmm.
what those videos were to, first of all, talk about my own experiences with
Mm-hmm.
some industries.
Yeah.
The video is not a very 100% comprehensive video of every way you can make $100 a day. It was
Mm.
more like how I've done it and how
Yes.
I've seen people do it,
Yes. Your personal
and
story.
the best approach I think people can take. So my path mostly transcended from like graphic design,
Yeah.
which is one way that I swear by. Like I've done projects, I've done over 50 projects
Mm-hmm.
for my graphic design career, and it's my main freelancing career lasted for a little over 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So throughout that period, I was doing a single project for maybe $500, sometimes $2,000,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes more,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes less.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all of those things. It was kind of like a cumulative, um, it was kind of much of cumulative projects that made me think back to, okay, this is how much I could have been making in a single day.
Yeah.
So it could be $100, it could be $500 in a day,
Mm-hmm.
it could be more, and
Yeah.
it could be less. So these are parts that people have taken, and it's possible. It's
Yeah.
very, very, very possible.
Yeah.
'Cause I've done it before,
Yeah.
and I don't think it is impossible at all because
Yes.
again, I've done it. So I think graphic design was my first. I did video production. I tried my hand on coding, but I never really got the hang of it. But I've hired people who have done web development or like app development stuff. And I know for a fact that there's serious money to be made there because obviously I paid
Mm.
for projects
Mm.
to be
That's
done.
very powerful. That's very powerful.
And there's voiceover work that you can do. I've hired voiceover artists as well. There's script writing, writing online, just writing generally, having, offering your services as a writer
Mm-hmm.
or offering your services as a virtual assistant. There's so many things that you can do, but the videos were mostly to highlight, they were obviously research backed ideas,
Yeah.
meaning that not just me, other bigger bodies have said that these parts can actually make this amount of money,
Yeah.
truly. So it was more like, this is also my own personal perspective on something I know for a fact that you can use to make money. So it was just those were the skills that I sort of portrayed. And I'm just at the risk of sounding like a shameless plug, we have a video coming soon that is going to have a deeper explanation
Great. And that
into
video
getting clients.
will drop in a week or 2 weeks time, right?
Yeah. Hopefully this Finance Friday, or maybe next week, Finance Friday.
Okay, so I mean people can I'll put a link to that when it drops as well, so that people can get to hear such, because there's so many ways that you can make money online. So many ways.
Yeah.
You can even review podcasts and just sell the PDFs. So
That's
many
another.
ways. I'm telling you, I'm telling you. Desire, for example, if somebody says, you know what, I even want to even grow online, the person can listen to all of Fisayos Finance Fridays and analyze each and every one of them. Just direct the link back to Fisayos page. Analyze them in depth, because
There
that
was
your
something I
Finance
was
Friday is full of gold. It's
there was
full
something I
of
was
wisdom.
surprised by. I heard someone took my videos, created a WhatsApp group, and was selling the entry to the group
Can you
for
imagine?
20,000. And I think there were maybe 1,000 people in that group. It was so weird.
It's weird, really, really weird.
And I was seeing some comments on the videos, and it was like, thank you or something. I'm like, so somebody made 20 million from my videos that are free on the internet.
Wow!
Ah, it
Is
was
that
that
you're an
moment I felt like
institution?
maybe I should
Huh?
actually start charging. But I've never charged anybody for anything. So
No,
maybe I
but
should start charging. I don't
or maybe you should do like a Finance Friday class
well, I feel like I
in the
would
future.
need
In the future, not
maybe in the
now.
future.
I know your hands
Maybe
are very full. A Finance Friday class in the future.
probably.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well done, man. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. Okay, if someone wants to start a YouTube channel right now, right? Someone wants to start. Someone is watching and they say, I only have my phone. I don't have the money to. I don't have $5,000 to buy all the gadgets that you have, but I have an idea. I have a point of view that I think will be of benefit. What will you say to that person?
Hmm. I think this is a very common question that people have when they, send me a message or just generally. I think I would first of all say, so figuring out the story, that's the content that you have or the idea that you have that you are not bored of talking about. That would really help you stay on course
Mm-hmm.
for the longest possible time. So, do you want to do fashion? Do you want to do travel? Do you want to do lifestyle? Do you want to do interviews? What exactly is it that you want to do?
Yeah,
Make sure that you understand it. Make sure you've absorbed, you can absorb as much content in the space as possible and see how you can bring your difference
yeah,
into the space, bring you into the space because nobody can do it like you.
that's right.
You are the only you, so
Yeah,
you want to bring your own unique perspective to the scene. That's the only way you will get noticed
fantastic.
because nobody likes seeing the same thing they've seen before
Yeah,
somewhere else. They will just click off or they will know that this is an obvious copy. So,
yeah,
but the funny thing is, even nowadays, people copy a lot and people just put out stuff
so,
that
yeah,
seems so similar. However, you don't want to just be generic.
yeah.
You want to, maybe copy, but copy with sense,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to come with you. So that's the first thing. In terms of gear and like the manual stuff, the technicalities rather
Yeah,
that go into making videos. I think lighting is very important.
mm,
Having a good light source, having a good microphone,
yeah,
and you can actually use your iPhone to make videos.
yeah.
You know, if you want to start, you can. It's very easy to start with short form content now
Mm-hmm.
because YouTube has accepted shorts.
Mm-hmm.
There's the YouTube Shorts now, and I mean, there's also Instagram Reels, TikTok,
Yeah,
and all this other stuff. But if it's YouTube videos too, you can use your phone in the horizontal mode.
Yeah.
You can actually use it, but have the audio and the lighting very well done. If those two are done, the video doesn't super, it's not really important.
Yeah.
However, the audio and the lighting, very important.
Okay.
So those are two things I would first tackle. Then the next thing would be maybe publishing and distribution, but I feel like those ones will come naturally if you once you start
Okay.
putting it out there on every platform, sharing it with your friends,
Yeah.
putting it on your story everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and make sure that you're solving somebody's
Problem, a
problem
specific
or
problem.
answering somebody's questions. Because if you look at comedians, they're solving a problem of people want to laugh, so they're
Yeah.
bringing the value of helping you laugh.
Yeah.
So there's this way I always put it is the entertainment value side of things.
Yeah.
So the value that a Taoma or a Mr. Macaroni will provide is entertainment value.
Yeah.
You go there because you know that you will get a good laugh.
Yeah.
The value that I provide is maybe educational value,
Yeah.
where you come, you are learning about something,
Yeah.
and you live better than you came
Yeah.
in that aspect. There's inspirational value.
Yeah.
There's a mixture of there's a mixture of education and entertainment. You
Yeah.
can mix and match,
Mm-hmm.
but you must make sure that you are providing some kind of value to people.
Okay.
And there's even lifestyle. Some lifestyle content can even be inspirational,
Very,
can be
very,
educational,
very,
or
very
can
so.
be entertaining. It can
Very, very
be
so.
any one of those spectrums. But you want to make sure that people came here for something,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to have them live with something of value. So
Okay.
I think that's just how I'll frame it.
Okay. So, what would you say to the CEO of a company in terms of their video as a strategy with the way the
So
world is right now? What would you say to the chief executive officer of a company? Because sometimes they don't even think about employing for that role yet. So I want you to speak to the importance of video as a strategy.
mm, it depends on how they want to focus on it. Like a CEO might want to have his personal brand associated with the company, or he might want to have it for the business brand.
Mm-hmm.
If it is in the case of personal branding, where the CEO wants to have videos curated about him
Mm-hmm.
in association to his company, maybe that can be a personal brand angle. But if it is about the company itself, that's a business angle. However, if we're just looking at it generally and concerning both topics, both personal and business branding topics, I think that having someone do it, having someone coming to help is very crucial
Mm-hmm.
because a CEO shouldn't like be focusing on something like that. I
Mm-hmm.
think a CEO can be focusing on, doing the CEO things, which is,
Yes.
making sure that everybody else is doing what they're supposed to do and making sure that new business is coming in and things like that. However, like someone that is, hiring someone very, very skilled
Mm-hmm.
that knows what they're doing, paying them well and
Yeah.
letting them do what they need to do.
Yeah.
And obviously, you have to make sure that the values of
Mm-hmm.
the brand, either the personal or business brand, are being delivered in the video.
But
So,
how do you balance that in your, because that's where you are right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, because you're not just a visual storyteller anymore. All right, or a finance storyteller anymore. You are also the chief executive officer of Vocal Media. So you are the salesman. You have to look for bigger deals, bigger brand partnerships. I don't know if I'm making sense. How do you divide yourself, your time, your creativity? Do you have time blocks? Do you have a scheduler that you follow monomaniacally? How does that work? Because many people are there right now, they are stuck. So they keep doing the creativity, but they're not growing the business. But this is a business, not just a
so,
creative expression.
so I think for me, I have been approaching it more from the personal brand angle, which is a lot of my platforms have my own name on it.
Very
So
good.
it's Fisayo Fosudo.
Yes.
That way, I know that I have to show up.
Yes.
So that's the distinction. If it's a business brand, the CEO doesn't always have to be there. He has
Mm-hmm.
people that can be, that can perform on camera for
Yeah.
the business. There are people that can be hired for those. But in terms of a personal brand, you have to be the one to show up.
Yeah.
So my role more it's be um, being reduced to the most important parts, which is having, a good script and
Mm-hmm.
having a good story
Mm-hmm.
to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And they have other things to worry about, like the business's goals, the business's values, the business's story
Mm-hmm.
to pass across in every single piece of content.
Mm.
But for me, it's more like how best do I do it? And again, this relates to if it is a tech video or if it is a finance video, it relates to also what exactly it is I'm talking about. If it is a product or service or maybe a news article or something that's trending, something that just comes out, something I feel people should know. All of those things would be someone else on the team and me coming together to discuss whether this makes sense for the audience that is watching, or maybe even customers, if you will, if you put it in that light.
Yeah.
However, if it's a personal brand, you have to show up. But if it's a business brand, it pays to have, helping hands and people that might show up on behalf of the brand. And occasionally you too sometimes.
Fantastic. You have a serious work ethic. I remember when you were working with Max. Max, right? You were
Yeah.
working with Max. I mean, I researched you, man. I followed you. I entered the rabbit hole. When you were working in Max, you would come home and do your own videos into the night. Then on weekends, you would do the work. You were saying once that sometimes when you first started, you buy petrol in your generator. And when the sound is too much, you would get into your car to do the voice record. I was like, yo, this is some serious work ethic, man. This is some serious work ethic, man. Because I've got people look at you now. They look at, oh, Fisayos, brand ambassador, yada yada. They don't know the work behind the glory. Can you speak to that?
Well, that's the time I wish not to remember.
But that philosophy,
I
that
don't,
principle is still working with you right now. I mean, that would determine who you employ right now.
true. But I mean, now there's more resources to be able to
Yeah.
mitigate that problem,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
so we actually recently invested in like this solar system, inverter,
In the office, yeah.
and all that, so that we don't have any issue with NEPA or
Mm,
like lights,
mm,
no generator sound. We just have to leave all that Nigerianness behind
mm,
because it is a problem. But I think back then the mindset was more like I have to deliver all these things,
mhm.
and there's no way I'm going to do it if I'm waiting around for the right time. I have to just do it. I have to keep
Mm.
doing it
You were not
as
waiting for the resources. You were being resourceful.
I guess you'd say it like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
knew that I had to show up and do this thing, or else, it's not really good. What
Mm.
is the precedent that I'm setting? So I have to just keep showing up and keep showing up. And if it is, recording in my wardrobe, for instance,
Come
which I
on,
did for a
man.
lot of time.
Come on,
So
man.
the wardrobe with the clothes covering the
That's
wardrobe is
a
like
pro
is
tip.
like
We'll
a
tell them
soundboard.
because it makes the audio very good.
So with the clothes is like padding.
Yes.
So you just put the mic in the middle and
Yes.
just do your voiceover. Or under a blanket. I
Come
did I
on,
did the
man.
blanket one a lot too. Under the blanket
Wow.
or in the car. The car was more of the best. It was later on in the career that I even had a car. But it started with the wardrobe and under the blanket. So for the voiceovers. But now, I mean, there are tools. There's even
Yeah.
an AI tool that can do it.
Wow. Wow. Oh, besides, this has been a very, very fascinating conversation. I don't know how to thank you enough for taking time out of your extremely busy schedule to make this happen. I just have two more questions to ask you, and then I'll call it a wrap. Number one,
Sure.
if you were going to recommend like a podcast or a book or a resource for somebody who's watching us right now, that want to grow a YouTube business or just want to start their own business on their own, what book would you recommend? One for finance and one for maybe general business or personal growth.
I think we already spoke about them, right?
Of course,
I think Mastery
it's
by Robert
Thomas
Greene
Johnson
is a
and
no-brainer.
Mastery by Robert Greene, man. Gonna put
Is a
that, man.
no-brainer.
Yeah.
Another one I would recommend though, out of those two, is Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
Oh, that's the former
It's
FBI
a
guy.
very good book
Yeah,
on
yes,
negotiation.
yes. He has a class on masterclass as well. Very good.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
yes, he has a class on
I think the
masterclass.
book is
It's a
a
classic.
very interesting perspective on negotiations, and
Yeah,
I have employed some of those tactics. They just I've been using some of those tactics every day in my life in general. And it's
brilliant.
just fascinating to see that you can actually just read a book and it can really help you get good answers every day. So, and I talk to people every day.
Yeah,
Like I'm on calls every day.
yeah.
So it just makes sense that there's something that I know that many people don't know. So I think it just helps.
That's
Yeah.
very, very good. That's very, very good. That's very, very
Never
good.
Split the Difference by Chris Voss is a good addition.
All right.
And then if maybe for creatives,
Mm,
an older book I read is Ignore Everybody by Hugh MacLeod. Is about creative people. I think creative people really resonate with that book. It's more of ignoring everybody is not necessarily you ignoring everybody,
mm,
but people are going to say stuff that will discourage you. You do
mm.
not have to believe them.
Yeah,
Believe in yourself
yeah.
and know that you know what you're doing. People might not believe in you and they might think that your idea is crazy.
Mm,
So you just have to try. You never know.
mm. Someone may be watching now at this level. Do you still go out for outbound deals, or you wait for the inbound deals to come to you? So if you look at a company and say, "Look, man, I want to work with this company," do you still reach out? Do you still do outreach? Or Fisayo has got to that level where he doesn't do outreach anymore. You wait for only for the inreach to come to him, or as a salesman, you just calm down.
So I think that because of the way everything is set up now, the outreach has become the some of the content,
I see.
some of the
I
some
see.
of the quality of some of the work and the quality of the work.
It's doing the work
And
for you.
sometimes even buying from brands that I want to work with. Like I would buy their stuff, I would
Mm,
use their service, and I would review their service and I'll publish it. I've noticed that it has worked maybe like it has worked a couple of times. This year, probably around 3 times I can count. I've done
mm,
something like that where I buy the brand's work or their I say I buy the brand's product or service and I use it, make a video about it. I
yeah.
wasn't paid to do it. But when I put it out there, and it does what it does, they are more inclined to be like, oh wow, how far? We saw this video and we want to work with you. We think it's nice.
Mm.
So I can do it now because there's money to do it now. But back then it's more like
I don't want
you
to
have
limit.
to.
I differ with you a little bit on that. I call it
Well,
permissionless
you have a
apprenticeship.
point.
Because
You have a
I
point.
tell you what happened to me. Somebody rewrote one of my sales copy. He's been
Okay.
trying to work with me. He took one of my sales copies of a product I was selling. He rewrote it. He sent it back to me for free. He said, publish it. And I saw it. I messaged. I said, let us work together. How much is your fee?
That's cool. That's cool. I think that's
Wow.
cool.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. I really enjoyed this conversation. Please, if you want to recommend, if you would like from your heart to, if you feel that this conversation was good, if you want to recommend a friend of yours to say, I can, Paul, I will message this guy for you. Who would that person be? To say, Paul, you need to interview this guy or this lady.
I think it would be Tayo.
Okay.
Tayo, I know films. You know Tayo?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
so Tayo would be someone I can recommend.
All right. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so